Tell me something, have you ever met someone so terrifying, so unpredictable, that even their silence feels louder than words? Because that's exactly what Taylor Sheridan just handed us in Tulsa King Season 3. Jeremiah Dunmire isn't just another mafia boss, or another season villain you can predict will crumble by episode 6. No, this man is built differently. And the most shocking part, he might be Sheridan's most dangerous villain across all of his shows. Yes, scarier than Milo in Mayor of Kingstown, more unhinged than the Beck brothers in Yellowstone, and maybe even more disturbing than Donald Whitfield in 1923. But here's my question for you, why would Sheridan introduce someone this terrifying right now? Think about it. For 2 seasons, we've watched Dwight bulldoze through rivals like they were cardboard cutouts. Chicky was a joke, Cal Thresher fizzled out, Jackie Ming barely made a dent. So why bring in a monster like Dunmire at this exact moment? Was Sheridan saving him? Or is this his way of saying, you thought Dwight had control. You thought Stallone was untouchable. Think again. And listen, I don't throw words like this around casually, but Jeremiah Dunmire is one of the most brutal TV villains Sheridan has ever written. And that's saying a lot when you've got a lineup of psychos, sociopaths, and cold-blooded killers stretching across entire Paramount empire. Remember that opening scene? The one where Dunmire doesn't just threaten Theo Montagu's family, he beats the man's father to death and burns down his generational home. That wasn't just an introduction. That was a declaration. Sheridan was telling us this isn't business as usual. This isn't a hot-headed gangster out for money. This is power for power's sake. This is fear weaponized. Now, let me ask you, if a man is willing to do that just to make a point, what do you think he's capable of when Dwight actually crosses him? Exactly. You're already picturing it. And trust me, it's darker than you think. Here's the controversial pain point. Sheridan's villains have always been hit or miss. We love his worlds, his big characters, his sprawling crime drama universes, but villains, they've either been too one note or they burn out before they really ignite. Cal Thresher, weak payoff. Jackie Ming, overshadowed. Chicky, forgettable. Even Waltrip from season 1 had menace, but he never truly broke Dwight. And this is the real issue. If the hero is never truly tested, what's the point? If Dwight keeps walking through his enemies without breaking a sweat, we get bored. We stop caring. Sheridan knew it. We knew it. And that's why Jeremiah Dunmire exists. He's not here to lose. He's here to finally put Dwight under pressure so intense it cracks his bones and forces us, the audience, to ask the ultimate question, can Dwight survive Sheridan's most terrifying villain yet? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Dunmire isn't just another mafia rival. He's something more calculated, more methodical. He's the type of villain Sheridan rarely writes, the kind who mixes brute violence with industrial power. In other words, he doesn't just kill you. He erases you, your legacy, your history, your family name. Want to know the forbidden knowledge hidden here? Dunmire's entrance wasn't just random shock value. Sheridan is using him to fix the villain problem across his entire TV empire.
Yeah, you heard me right.
Tulsa King just became the testing ground for Sheridan's darkest, most psychologically terrifying antagonist template. And if it works here, you'll start seeing shades of Dunmire in Landman, Mayor of Kingstown, and even future Yellowstone spin-offs. Why? Because villains make or break a legacy. And Sheridan wants his shows to feel legendary. Let me throw this at you, who's scarier to you? Someone like Milo, who manipulates everything with his chessboard brain, or someone like Dunmire, who will kill your father, burn your house, and smile while doing it? Drop your answer in the comments because I want to see where the fandom stands. And here's another hypothetical. Imagine if Dunmire had been the villain in season 1 instead of Waltrip. Do you think Dwight would have even survived? Or would the show have ended before it began? Me personally, I'll admit it, I'd have been done. Dunmire would have eaten Dwight alive. And yes, that's me roasting Stallone's character a little, but come on, the man's been strutting around Tulsa like it's Rocky V Muffy edition. It's about time someone knocked him down a peg. And remember back when I said in my breakdown of 1923 that Donald Whitfield was Sheridan's darkest villain yet? Yeah, I'm eating those words now, because while Whitfield was vile, sadistic, and made audiences physically squirm, he wasn't built to last. Dunmire, he's built to survive Dwight. He's built to dominate season 3. And possibly season 4. Now here's the emotional gut punch. Sheridan is forcing us to rethink Dwight's legacy. We thought he was untouchable. We thought he was building an empire in Tulsa. But Dunmire's arrival whispers something terrifying in our ear. Every empire eventually falls. So here's the looping question I'll keep asking until we see it unfold. Is Jeremiah Dunmire the man who finally destroys Dwight? Or is Sheridan setting us up for an even more shocking betrayal down the line? Because let me tell you, Dunmire may not be working alone. And if that's the case, Tulsa isn't ready for what's coming. Now let's rewind for a second. Did you notice how Sheridan carefully staged Dunmire's first move? Most villains in Tulsa King, Chicky, Cal, Waltrip, they announce themselves through bluster. They yell, they posture, they throw money around. But Dunmire, his introduction was violence first, words later. That's not just storytelling, that's Sheridan telling us that this man's actions will always speak louder than promises. And here's the part nobody's really talking about: Dunmire isn't a villain motivated by greed. He doesn't need to. He's already got money, influence, and land. What he craves is control, absolute domination. And that, let's be honest, makes him 10 times scarier than a hot-headed gangster chasing profit. Think about it. You can outspend a greedy man. You can outlast a hothead. But how do you fight someone who wants to erase your very existence? Here's the pain point Dwight fans won't want to admit: Stallone's character has gotten comfortable. He's been swaggering around Tulsa like the king of the castle. He's patched up beefs, handed out jobs, even built loyalty with Mitch and Bodie. But comfort is the enemy of survival, and Dunmire is the perfect predator to exploit it. Dwight's greatest strength has been his ability to intimidate weaker rivals. But what happens when the rival staring him down doesn't blink, doesn't flinch, doesn't care if his empire burns to the ground, as long as Dwight burns with it? Yeah, suddenly that swagger feels a little shaky. Here's where we unlock the secret Sheridan doesn't want you to notice yet. Ready? Dunmire isn't just a character, he's a template. Sheridan has struggled with villains across his franchises because too many of them were either short-lived as Waltrip or one-dimensional chick-eat. So what did he do? He brought in Robert Patrick, a legendary actor known for intensity, and gave him everything the other villains lacked. The brains of Milo, the raw brutality of Waltrip, the sadism of Whitfield, and the industrial ambition of Donald Whitfield. Dunmire is Sheridan's Frankenstein's monster villainy, stitched together from the pieces of every past failure. And if that's true, Tulsa King Season 3 isn't just about Dwight's survival, it's Sheridan testing his ultimate villain formula. And listen, before we peel back another layer of this forbidden knowledge, I need you to do one thing: subscribe to the channel right now. Because trust me, what's coming next in Tulsa King isn't just going to break Dwight, it's going to break fan expectations across the entire Sheridan universe. And when it does, you're going to want to be here when we dissect every shocking move. Okay, let's play a game. Picture this: Dwight and Dunmire locked in a final showdown. No backups, no guns, no soldiers. Just them face to face. Who do you think walks out alive? Drop your predictions in the comments, because this one's dividing fans already. And let me roast myself for a second. I used to say, Dwight's untouchable. Stallone's too iconic. Sheridan won't let him lose. Yeah, famous last words. Because after seeing Dunmire torture man's entire family legacy in episode 1, I realized something: Sheridan doesn't care about our comfort zones. He thrives on ripping the rug out from under us. Remember when I said in my Mayor of Kingstown breakdown that Milo was the most chilling villain because he could control everything without ever firing a gun? Yeah, I still stand by that. But Dunmire, he's the other side of the coin. He doesn't need chessboards. His strategy is blunt force terror. And sometimes raw terror is more effective than intellect. And that's why we feel so uneasy watching him. He's not calculating in silence like Milo. He's loud in his violence. And that forces us to face an uncomfortable truth: Dwight might not have the tools to fight this kind of war. And let me just say this: am I the only one who feels like Sheridan looked at Dwight and said, you know what? Let's see what happens if we throw him against a Terminator in cowboy boots? Because Robert Patrick, yes, the T-1000 himself, as Dunmire, that casting is meme-worthy perfection. I half expected Dwight to shout, "Hasta la vista, baby," during their first encounter. But nope. This isn't Terminator, this is Tulsa, and Dunmire is rewriting the rules. So here's the big loop I'll leave you with: Dunmire isn't just a villain of the season, he's a warning shot. Sheridan is telling us that no character is safe, no empire is unbreakable, and no hero is beyond destruction. Now the only question left is this: when the fire finally comes, who gets burned first, Dwight or us, the fans, watching everything we thought we knew collapse? Drop your theories, your wildest predictions, even your dream endings in the comments. Because one thing's certain, Tulsa King Season 3 just went from a mafia drama to a war zone. And I'll be here, DR friends, breaking down every forbidden detail, every shocking twist, and every villainous move. Until next time, it's Jones, signing off.